Welcome to Curie Projects. This is the third part of VSSC 2019 Electronics Mechanics question paper. So we have told for up to 59, first 59 questions we have solved. Today we are going to solve from 60 to 80. So let's start. Question number 60. Which digital technology is commonly used in VLSI devices? VLSI is used for large-scale integration means so many gates and so many transistors are involved in it. So the density, we need more density. Many number of devices can be accommodated in a lesser area. So the option A, TTL, option B, ECL, option C, CMOS, option D, RTL. The right answer is CMOS. CMOS provides a lot of packing density. So answer is CMOS. Question number 61. What is the peak voltage of a sinusoidal signal of 7 volt RMS? So in this question, the RMS voltage is given. We have to find the peak voltage. So the given RMS voltage equal to 7 volt. There is a relation between RMS voltage and peak voltage. So peak voltage equal to root 2 times the RMS voltage. RMS voltage is the 7 volt, which is equal to root 2 value is 1.41 multiplied by 7 volt, which equals 9.8999 volt. So we'll see which is the correct. So for question number 61, the option A is the correct answer, that is 9.9 volt. Question number 62. Which of the following will not convert light energy into electrical energy? Option A, light emitting diode. Option B, photodiode. Option C, phototransistor. Option D, solar cells. The answer is option A, light emitting diode. These other three components, that is photodiode, it will accept the light. Solar cells also accept the light. Phototransistor also accept the light. So the answer is a light emitting diode or LED. Question number 63. Which is not a digital modulation? Option A, pulse code modulation. Option B, frequency shifting. Option D, phase shifting. Option D, phase modulation. So out of these four options, this pulse code modulation, after converting into digital only, we will do the pulse code modulation. Frequency shifting keying also, it is also a kind of pulse or digital modulation. Phase shift keying also it's a kind of digital phase shift keying. That's a digital modulation. And the phase modulation is angle modulation. It's also known as angle modulation. And this is not a digital modulation. So the answer is option D, phase modulation. Question number 64. Which of the following convert chemical energy into electrical energy? Which of the following convert chemical energy into electrical energy? This question is so easy. We all know that dry cell convert chemical energy into electrical energy. So the answer is dry cell. What is a load cell here? Option A, load cell. Load cell is used in a weighing machine. So it's a sensor. It converts the weight placed on the load cell to a electrical output, so that we can make the measurement using the load cell. It is used in weighing machine. Solar cell, it is used in solar panel to convert light energy into electrical energy. And what is the output of the solar cell? It is a DC. Solar cell provides DC output. DC output. LED is the light emitting diode. So the answer is dry cell, which converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Question number 65. Which of the following is not a basic element of microprocessor? So everybody knows what is microprocessor and microcontroller. So the question is, which of the following is not a basic element of the microprocessor? Option A, accumulator. Option B, arithmetic logic unit or ALU. Option C, registers. Option D, timer. For a microprocessor, ALU is must, and accumulator also required. Registers also required for the processing or calculation. Option D, timer is the answer. Question number 66. Which of the following is a volatile memory? First of all, what is a volatile memory? Volatile memory means once the power goes, whatever we have stored in the memory, that also just goes off. It doesn't store once the power goes off. Options. Okay, now the question 66. Which of the following is a volatile memory? That means when power goes off, whatever the content stored in the memory, that also vanishes. Option A, EEPROM, electrically programmable read-only memory. Option B, EEPROM, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. Option C, DVD. DVD, all of us know, DVD once we copy, it will be years we can use that DVD. We can just keep it and it will be there without power. Option D, SRAM. SRAM means static RAM. This static RAM which is used in computers and all. So when the power, this is used as a main memory. When the power goes, whatever the data is there in the SRAM also just goes off. The memory just vanishes, whatever the content. So the answer is option D, SRAM. This is the volatile memory. Question number 67. Which conformal coating material is difficult to remove chemically using a solvent? From ISRO point of view, this conformal coating is an important topic. I will try to make one special video for this conformal coating. So, which conformal coating material is difficult to remove chemically using a solvent? Option A, acrylic. Option B, Parylene. Option C, silicone. Option D, rosin. Out of these four, rosin is a flux material. So with alcohol, easily it can be removed. So this is not the answer. And silicone coating also, it can be removed using a alcohol. To remove acrylic coating, there is something called chemical strippers. Using that, the acrylic coating can be removed. So this is also not the answer. So the answer is Parylene. It doesn't get dissolved in chemical. So the answer is Parylene. So all of you, please subscribe the channel. Press the bell icon also, so that whenever I upload the videos, you'll get the notification. And please share with your friends so that I will get more interest to upload the videos. And all of you, don't worry about the lockdown or corona and all. Keep preparing for the exam. Studying is your part, conducting exam is ISRO's part. So they will do their job, you do your job, try to get the job. Okay, so all the best for all of you. Now the question number 68. Which of the following is a universal gate? This is a very simple question, everybody knows. Universal gates are two gates are there, NAND and NOR. So in the option we have NAND. So the answer is option B, NAND gate. NAND is a universal gate. Question number 69. What is the operating region of a bipolar junction transistor when both junctions are forward biased? When both junctions are forward biased, the transistor is completely on. That is, it is under saturation. So the answer is option B. So we'll see what are the other options there. So transistors can be operated in when both junctions, that is emitter base junction and collector base junction, when both junctions are forward biased, transistor is operating in saturation. When emitter base junction is forward biased and collector base junction is reverse biased, transistor is acting in active region or linear region. When both junctions are reverse biased, the transistor is in cutoff region. So we'll go to the next question. Question number 70. What will be the value of logic function A complement or A complement B or A when A equal to 1 and B equal to 1? So output Y equal to A equal to 1, B equal to 1. Whenever A equal to 1, B complement, see A will be 1 and with B complement, that is 0, A and 0, 0. A complement, that is 0, B 1, again ORing with A equal to 1. So we will get 0 or 0 or 1. So the answer is 1. If we give 3, if we have a 3 input AND gate, so the answer is 1. See, we have a OR gate. If we give 3 inputs, 0, 0, 1, then we will get output as 1. Output is equal to 1. So question number 70, the answer is option B, 1. Question number 71. What is the packaging technology used in integrated circuits to reduce space in PCB? Option A, SMT, option B, BBT, option C, DIP, option C, DIP, option D, VLSI. The question is, what is the packaging technology used in integrated circuits to reduce space in PCB? So in the PCB we have to mount many components. So nowadays we can see that PCB can accommodate more components. What is the component we see in the PCB? It is the SMT. So the answer is SMT. So the SMT packaging, that is surface mount technology, reduces the space occupied by components on PCB. So we'll go to the next question. Question number 72. The process of making a mechanical joint between stripped end of a wire and a connector pin. Option A, chipping. Option B, wire bonding. Option C, crimping. Option D, braiding. So the answer is crimping. There is a crimping tool after stripping the wire or after removing the this sheath from the wire. Using a crimping tool, we can crimp the wire with the connector pin. So the answer is crimping. Question number 73. How many PN junctions are there in an SCR? So the question is, how many PN junctions are there in an SCR? Option A 1, option B 2, option C 3, option D 4. This is an SCR. SCR is consist of PN devices connected back to back. So this is the anode, and this is the anode, and this is the cathode. So here if we see how many junctions we have here, this is a junction 1, junction 2, the junction 2, this is junction 1, junction 3. That means there are 3 junctions in an SCR. So there are 3 junctions in an SCR. So the right answer is option C 3. So question number 74. What is the common shape of pad corresponding to pin number 1 of an IC? So what the question means, in a PCB, pin number 1 of the IC is how many we can identify in a PCB. Now the answer is option A square. Option A square. See, this is the first pin of the IC. So you can see this is a square. See, I'll just keep it reverse. See this side. See, this side is a square. So in a PCB, in the first pin of the IC is represented as a square. So we'll go to the next question. Question number 75. HRC fuse stands for. Option A, high rupturing capacity fuse. Option B, high rated current fuse. Option C, high reactive current fuse. Option D, none of the above. The answer is HRC fuse stands for high rupturing capacity fuse. Option A, high rupturing capacity fuse. I'll try to make one video for the different types of fuses. So friends, I hope all of you like the video. Any comments, any suggestions, or you want a video on a particular topic, please comment it. So I'll try to accommodate your suggestions. And so we'll go to the question number 76. Calculate the synchronous speed of a 3-phase induction motor with 4 poles operating from 50 Hz supply. Okay, we have to calculate the synchronous speed of the 3-phase induction motor. This induction motor, it is somewhat concept of a rotating magnetic field. That is the concept comes, and the starting torque is low for these induction motors. And while starting, this induction motors draws high current. So we will see how to calculate this. The speed of induction motor is given as 120 multiplied by frequency divided by the number of poles. Here this our 120 multiplied by our frequency is 50. Number of poles, what are the number of poles we have? We have 4 poles. So if we divide, we will get 30, and we have 50 is our frequency. So the answer is 1500 RPM, revolutions per minute. So the equation for the synchronous motor speed in RPM is 120 multiplied by the frequency of the magnetic field, that is rotating magnetic field of the synchronous motor, divided by the number of poles. Question number 77. What is the fan out of a typical 2-input TTL gate? This is a direct question. Fan out means how many inputs can be driven from a single output of a TTL gate. Option A 1, option B 2, option C 10, option D 20. The answer is option C. The fan out of a TTL gate is 10. Question number 78. What is the output waveform of 8038 function generator? The question itself is telling function generator. This 8038 is a integrated chip. It can generate square wave, it can generate sine wave, it can generate triangle wave. So the answer is option D, all of the above. So friends, all of you please press the like button and share with your friends so that this videos will be useful for many candidates who are appearing for the ISRO Technician B Electronics exams. And please subscribe and share with your friends. We will make more exciting videos for some particular topics. So now the question number 79. Next question is the question number 79. A circuit has a resistor of 2 ohm and a capacitor of 1 microfarad connected in series. The time constant of the circuit is, we have to find the time constant. RC time constant. We have the values of resistor and the capacitor. So we have to find the time constant of the RC circuit. R and C are connected in series. This is our resistor and one capacitor. Both are connected in series. This is 2 ohm. This is 1 microfarad. We have to find the RC value. Now time constant T equal to R multiplied by C, which equals here, which is equal to R is 2. 1 microfarad means 1 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 6 farads. So time equal to 2. 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 seconds. 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 seconds, which equals 2 microseconds. So the RC time constant is 2 microseconds. So the answer for question number 79, 2 microseconds. So answer is option A, 2 microseconds. So today is our last question, question number 80. With this we will complete the VSSC 2019 February solution, question paper solution. Question number 80. Which of the following conditions are needed to properly bias an NPN transistor as an amplifier? Option A. Apply large voltage on the base. Option B. Forward bias the collector base junction and reverse bias the emitter base junction. Option C. Apply a positive voltage on the N-type material and a negative voltage on the P-type material. Option D. Forward bias the base emitter junction and reverse bias the base collector junction. So the answer is option D. To use the transistor as an amplifier, we have to forward bias the base emitter junction, and reverse bias the base collector junction. So all of you study regularly, keep motivated, and success will be yours. So thanks for watching. Keep working hard. All the best. Thank you.